Hey there, food fans. Welcome back to the Food for ThoughtCast with me, your host, Melissa Reagan, and my co-host with the most, Chef Steven Gonzalez. What's going on, Steve?
Hi.
Steve over there looking like a wannabe Jimmy Buffett. What's going on?
Just got back from Hawaii and
Yes.
lots of cuisine to talk about and having fun. And it was such a great time.
Nice bucket hat.
I'm back in Texas. Unfortunately.
Nice bucket hat. So we're well, yeah. Can you tell me about it? Who are you wearing?
I have no clue. I got it from Amazon for like $12 or $15. I have washed it twice and it has shrunk considerably. So it's very schmedium right now.
It's very schmedium.
It wasn't very schmedium when I was in Hawaii, so I wasn't showing off that much skin.
Got it. Now you got like public armpits and such. It's a
Right.
travesty. Woo! No, too much sexy. Put it down. So everybody, before we started recording and he got into the studio, I had no idea Steve would be wearing this. I almost spit Diet Dr. Pepper all over my computer screen. Luckily, I was able to maintain composure. But okay, yeah, I like that. That's a good look too.
Very blossomy, right?
It's very Cheech and Chong Goes to Hawaii with your beard and your hair right now. So it's very 90s. It's very 90s. I love it. It's very like TRL Spring Break Honolulu, like, yeah, essentially. Yeah. Steve, when did you go to Hawaii? Because we're recording these a little bit far out. So when was it?
Went the beginning or the end of March, right before the beginning of April. Pretty much last week of March. I had a vacation that I had to use up before I lost it. So I just said, we're going. And my wife has points galore, so we flew out for like $22, which was pretty cool.
Good grief.
And then we got raked over the coals with everything else. So, that's how they get you.
Like you do.
We stayed in Honolulu for about 4 days, which, I wish we would have stayed longer, but, like you can only cram so much into like 1 week,
Sure.
So, yeah.
All right. So let's start at zero. What did you know about Hawaiian cuisine before you got there?
Absolutely nothing. Musubi,
all right.
That's about all I really knew. I mean, they throw they got macaroni salad.
So basically the Hawaiian lunch plate, like the pork, macaroni salad and rice, basically. Okay.
And that's about it, really.
Perfect.
So I went in with zero expectations and left very happy.
All right. Well, take us through it. Well, first, what was the most amazing thing you ate this week, Steve?
Since I got back from vacation, nothing really, because it's just been all like trying to eat healthy again. Because even though we ate pretty good over there, like I just ate and ate and ate. So, you know what? Last night, my wife and I decided to have steak salad. So, of course, your sirloin and, your greens and a little bit of some feta, some avocado.
You ate salad?
Yeah, I had salad.
You don't like salad.
It's not my favorite, but, you have to get all your healthiness in, I guess. I don't know. I know healthiness is not really a word, but, it does. It makes sense in this case.
Right on.
I think. Is healthiness a real word?
Steak salad. I don't know.
Well,
if you want it to be, it is.
So there was a grilled peach vinaigrette, balsamic vinaigrette, and that's where I got caught because I was expecting to see grilled peaches in there. No, it was just flavoring. So
just peach. Gross.
Well, I mean, it didn't suck, but I mean, at the same time, I was like, okay, where the peaches at?
Yeah.
Sauce.
I almost would rather have like a blue cheese crusted half grilled peach, right? Like like balsamic drizzle, like with like steak. Oh, it sounds really good.
Yeah.
So it got cold here again. So the most amazing thing that I'll be eating this week is the dinner that I'm going to make tonight. A dear friend of mine, which I can't figure out if he'd be comfortable with me saying his name or not, but he has
Steven for now.
We can call him the other Steven. His name's Ethan. But
Too much.
I honestly don't think he would mind. He has a dish that's really special to his family that he eats on his birthday every year, and they'll make it other times too. But it's called Mexican cornbread, and he was kind enough to share it with me. And he shared it with a bunch of folks. And I'm in the mood for it. It got cold here again in North Carolina. We had like 3 80-degree days that were like gorgeous and sunny and almost verging on hot. And then we had a huge thunderstorm, a series of tornado sirens, and now it's in the 50s again. It's absolutely ridiculous. So I got in the mood for something hearty. So it is essentially like sausage, cream corn, green chilies, kind of in a cornbread base. Okay. It bakes up like a really tasty casserole. And I know that he eats his with the Dr. Pepper. I'm going to have a Diet Dr. Pepper. And the recipe card says, eat it with ranch style beans and coleslaw. And who am I to mess with directions? I'm going to eat it with ranch style beans and coleslaw. But you can't find ranch style beans in North Carolina. So I'm making them. Yeah. I'm making them with pinto beans and chili powder. And like I put a little apple cider vinegar in there, some French barbecue seasoning, right? Garlic, onion, little bacon. So they're going to be good. It's going to be good.
Every time I do like a stuffed cornbread, I always like to throw chorizo in there too. It just makes me happy.
Well, this original recipe card says spicy sausage. I just use regular breakfast sausage, but then it also calls for like green chilies or jalapenos, and I put both. So I love chorizo though. I actually saw, you would actually love this. Do you have a Trader Joe's where you are, Steve?
Not where I'm at, but in the bigger cities like San Antonio and Dallas and Austin, yeah, they're over there.
Sure. I saw like a shortcut pasta recipe that I think you would really like. It was like pound of chorizo, jar o sauce, 2 cans of chili. Now, this person made it vegan, but for these purposes, I'm telling you like the not vegan version. A Borson and a like 10-ounce bag of dry pasta. And then you fill the jar of the sauce like with water or broth, right? And you put everything together and bake it. And it looked insane. I was like, dude, I want like it was basically like chorizo chili mac is how it ended up. Like at the end.
Chorizo, that's a lot though. I mean, I can do a few ounces.
It might have been 8 ounces. I'll send the video over to you. It looked really great. There's this guy it's like cheater meals from Trader Joe's or some such. Like he does a series like easy meal, lazy Trader Joe's meals or something like that. His handle is Conscious Chris. He eats plant-based diet, but he also says like just use the protein of your choice. And this looked amazing. I was like, dude, I want like baked chili type rigatoni with like chorizo in it. Like I want that. I want that in my life. But yeah, tonight, Mexican cornbread in honor of my friend Ethan. It's going to be amazing. And homemade ranch style beans and coleslaw. And I cannot wait. I've been on the leftover train for a while. I got a huge pizza downtown some weeks ago here in the old bustling metropolis of Wake Forest. And it was so large that I saved it as individual slices in gallon freezer bags. And I kind of like it because just for breakfast yesterday, I just pulled out one giant piece of pizza and I was like, good to go. Put it in the old air fryer. Like,
Was there a pineapple on it?
Of course there was pineapple on it, Steven.
Oh my goodness. I mean, I'm not opposed to it.
It was their supreme pizza, this place that I went to, which shall remain nameless because once I took it home and seasoned it and then cooked it the rest of the way, it was great. Womp womp. But it was like, meatball, sausage, black olives, onion, mushroom, green bell pepper, and pepperoni. And I added pineapple. So.
As if your own blasphemy to it.
I blasphemed it, and then I put salt and pepper on it and red chili flakes, and then got it to its appropriate level of crispiness, and then it was pizza. So
that's why I like to just do it like on like cast iron when I heat it up.
Yeah.
Crispiness versus the oven.
I'm gonna have to break down and buy a cast iron. I've mentioned it before, but I didn't move it over here with me from Texas. Yeah. Everything was heavy, and I got the smallest truck possible, and it was just kind of like get everything in here. Sit on the door if you have to make it close, and like let's go.
Is your stove is it gas or is it electric?
It's electric, but it's glass top.
Ooh, yeah, no, I don't blame you for not using or having cast iron because I'd scratch the crap out of it.
Yeah, I mean, I could also buff it out of there, but eventually there's going to be something that I want to use a cast iron for. Now I have like an enamel pot, like Crusade, like the cheap kind. Yeah. But dude. My air fryer perfectly fits the piece of pizza that's like the size
nice.
of your face. So, okay. So pineapple on pizza, was that everywhere in Hawaii or not?
I don't even think I ate pizza once in Hawaii.
Well, sure, you weren't looking for it, but I'm
Hawaiian
just wondering
pizza?
if that's a
I
thing,
didn't,
like, because
I didn't even think about that.
yeah.
I got to go back to Hawaii now just to go see
you guys
pizza.
gotta take another trip. Womp womp. Like somebody has to do it. Thanks for taking one for the team, buddy.
Right. So my friend's brother is a chef out there who we're going to try to get on at a later time. I just need his email address.
Nice.
His name's Lamont, and he's on. So we stayed in Honolulu, Waikiki Beach. So I learned that, like, of course, there's the Big Island, and then there's Honolulu, and then you have like Maui or
Sure.
but like Honolulu is like cities within the island, right? I just thought it was all called Honolulu. Like I didn't think city of. So, anyways, he's on the north side. We stayed on the very south side of the island. So he was about an hour away. We didn't have a rental car. So unfortunately, I did not get to meet him or like eat at his restaurant, which I was really looking forward to. But it was like an hour one way, an hour back. I was like, as small of an island as it is, we didn't get to do it. But he did recommend some restaurants, right? So the day that we got there, we didn't have anything planned. So he recommended this place called Strip Steak. And it's a Michael Mina restaurant, right? So
okay, nice.
It was really, really good. So, of course, they sat us down. They brought us a cocktail and whatnot. And I asked, for the chef. And he was so cool, who I'm going to also try to bring out at another time. But, they send you out complimentary, like, fries. And they had, like a spicy ketchup, like a ponzu sauce, and then they had your favorite truffle aioli. Yeah, I know. But those fries were just like twice fried. Like it was just so great. And you're thinking to yourself, like, okay, I cannot like I want to save some room and I don't want to eat everything, like a like a crazy person. And so we just kind of took our time. Let me see. I should have had the chef's name. His name was Garrett Mendoza. And so, I got to meet him. Very cool dude. Come to find out, he's from New Mexico, had family in Midland at one point. So when we told him where we were from, he knew exactly where we were from. It was awesome. And so he sent out like some samosas with like, it was stuffed with like beef and it was real creamy and it was just, everything was really, really good, and just the presentation alone. I'll be putting pictures up as we go. Or
nice.
Like, maybe not as we go, but I'll be posting pictures up and whatnot. And so we also got like some steak tartare, which was out of this world. Of course, I'm always about, steak tartare. And it was crazy because like they do like Kobe and all sorts of like really fancy, awesome steaks because they're close to like Texas.
Mm-hmm.
And then we got like some fresh tuna rolls, and I don't even remember what they were stuffed with, but that tuna was just so bright red and sliced so thin you can almost see through it. It was crazy.
That's awesome.
It had some jalapenos just sliced real paper thin again, and like that was just awesome. And so we got a couple cocktails. I got like what they call it, a paper plane or something like that, and it's kind of like Prohibition style.
Yeah, the paper plane's delicious. In case anybody doesn't know,
but it wasn't like a paper plane exactly. Like it was kind of like a twist off of that, which was really cool.
Yeah, like a play on it.
My wife got some sort of like lavenderish coconut kind of cocktail, and it was just like bright purple and just creamy, and oh my gosh, it was so good.
So steak tartare, Steve, when you make it or when you're looking for it, well, first of all, like just explain to the listeners exactly what it is.
So steak tartare is basically like an appetizer where it's raw beef, but it also has, like a lot of flavorings together. So it's like it's diced up. I always dice it up real thin. I always throw like some mustard, a little Worcestershire. I like to throw an egg yolk in there, things like that. So it gives it a real creamy texture. And of course, I like my steaks rare as can be. So for me, this is the perfect appetizer.
Right.
Throw with like some crunchy bread. holy cow, like it's good, you know?
I always like it with like a crostini or maybe even a non-traditional, like a wonton chip or something. But steak tartare, yeah, usually like some really, really tiny minced shallots, some really strong Dijon, an egg yolk. And if anybody out there has never experienced it, it's really great, right? Like it doesn't have like a gross raw meat texture. Like I think a lot of people think about steak tartare and they immediately picture like raw ground meat. But the reason why it's safe or safer to consume something like tartare is because you and I know, right, from our food training that the bacteria is mainly on the outside, so you can lightly sear the outside of a steak, and that's why you can eat it just as raw as possible. But you buy the higher quality and then you dice it up. That way it doesn't get intermingled. In raw beef, it's like anything that may be present there is completely throughout the entire mixture.
And I was just about to say, you want a high quality beef. You can't just be
super high quality. You can just buy you can't buy like a choice piece of sirloin from the store and use it for this. You're using a higher grade, probably prime or A5 or
that you like to use.
I like filet in my steak tartare. Yeah. I like to dice it or slice it really thin, but then you're kind of getting into like the carpaccio area, which is like Italian steak tartare, like beef tartare. But yeah, I actually prefer the dice though.
Yeah, same here. Yeah. I honestly can't use any other cut other than tenderloin,
Yep.
That's just me,
Absolutely.
But we got like a pork belly dish. It was all appetizers, everything that we ate, because we before we had gone, we went to like, I guess they're at the hotel we were staying at, there was like a VIP, like area for snacks and cocktails and stuff. So we had a little bit there because we hadn't eaten all day. So we're like, well, let's get something to eat first. And so by that point, we're just going to get like appetizers and go from there. But we got like this pork belly chicharron, and it had like their Hawaiian style like barbecue sauce. And man, that was just so good. Like it had that perfect level of like char on it to where you get that little bit of flavor with like the sweet, the tanginess, all that umami. Yeah. You top it up with like a chicharron. And that was really, really good. And when you bit into that pork belly, like it just pretty much melted in your mouth as well. Like there was nothing wrong with that dish, period. And by that point, my wife was full. So I'm trying to like just get it down and cocktail. And
you're like, there's more things to eat. We have to pace ourselves.
You would think that we paced ourselves, but no, like once food started getting in front of me, I was like, no, we got to eat this. Like, this is just awesome. And the one mistake I did was I didn't take pictures of the menu so I could like walk you through every single ingredient, but
that's okay. That's okay.
But we wrapped it up with dessert with like, it was a cheesecake, but like the top was burnt. Does that make sense?
Yeah. Like a Basque style cheesecake.
Yeah. Yeah, exactly. And I've never had a Basque style cheesecake before, but that was amazing. Like,
I like it.
The top was just like perfectly dark, and then you just get like that real creamy look right underneath that. And man, yeah,
it's like really firm and dense, right? And if nobody's ever had it, they cook it for a really long time, and it develops like this intense caramelization on top that almost looks burnt. It's kind of characteristic of the style, and there are a lot of egg yolks in it to be super duper rich. And really, really smooth. Not the way that you would think about like Italian cheesecake where it's going to have ricotta and you might have like that other texture in there. It's not quite like an American cheesecake where it's just kind of the heaviness of the Philly cream cheese. Like this is just a little bit different. It's just amazing. If it's something that you've never tried, you definitely want to try it. It's worth trying at least once in your life. It might become your favorite type of cheesecake.
Totally worth it. Yeah, it was amazing. And I mean, we left just completely stuffed, and we walked everywhere. So like, you walk back to the hotel and you feel good. It was like a 10-minute walk.
Nice.
And so yeah, I learned that if you're going to do that, you got to have some good walking shoes. And I had this much back pain because I actually took my on clouds. And
nice. Yeah. Hook is for life over here, but I was just I was just telling somebody they're not for everybody. They have a lot of we're not a shoe podcast, but we'll take a second here. My bad. They had a lot of foam in the midfoot part of the shoe. And I was just telling somebody the other day that I could work 15 hours, and if anything's going to hurt, it's not going to be my feet. It will not be my feet. So yeah. But hey, I think honestly, like, that's one of the things that I like the most about vacation is being able to walk. Like Dallas, not walkable city, right? Like I just not sidewalks, a bunch of freeways. Like there are parts of it that are like maybe in your little neighborhood there is, but I think it's that stroll after dinner or the walk to and from to get to your different attractions or places. Like that's one of the things I like about vacation in general. You know, it's just like we can it's just a leisurely stroll. Where in your everyday life you'd be like, no, I'm taking a car. You know what I mean?
Exactly.
So, yeah. All right. So that was the first night.
So then day 2, or the first actual day, we took this tour all around the island, right? And we got on this bus real early in the morning, and we stopped at Pearl Harbor. So I'd never been to Pearl Harbor before. And of course, you know, you go in super early to beat the crowds and whatnot. It's very special where you have just a lot of reverence for everything that took place there, you know, all those years ago. And, you know, it was just something like I'd never witnessed in my life. You know, like you go there and you can just feel like it's just in the atmosphere. Like you just can't help but be in awe of something that was so horrible. And again, you go in with so much respect. And when we went up to like the USS Arizona, like you could smell the oil coming out of the water. And there's tons of fish there too. It's crazy how, you know, they're still there.
Yeah.
You know? And so we, you know, I took some time because I love history and I love, you know, like I learned new things about Pearl Harbor that I didn't know before. So for example, I guess the leaders of Japan were meeting with, you know, FDR.
Right.
And they knew that they were still going to attack Pearl Harbor. Does that make sense? So they're in America. Yeah, I didn't know that. You know, it was insane, you know. So, you know, the next stop that we did, they took us to like this like a bakery food truck. So it's called Leonard's Bakery, and they had hot malasadas. Have you ever had those?
Absolutely not. Please tell me what those are. So
it's almost like a Portuguese donut. Well,
okay.
Pastry. It is a Portuguese donut.
You had me at donut.
Pastry dough fried until it's golden brown, while the insides are made fluffy and light. They make the way that they made them. Everything just it was just so well. Like you take a bite out of it, you get that little crunch on the outside, and then the inside was just so chewy. And as much as I wanted to get an original one, I decided to go with a 3-pack of like stuffed ones. So one of them was stuffed with coconut filling, another one had chocolate filling, and then custard filling. And man, I mean,
how big? So was it like a Berliner, like a jelly donut, like that? Like a completely round, or like what did it look like?
Yeah, it was completely round. It was about like that big, like a hockey puck. But it was pretty tall, and then of course they just put it up to like a little funnel, and they just fill it with, you know, your fillings.
Like as you order it, or after you order it. Exactly. Oh man.
And the thing about them, like you can get them again coated with sugar, with cinnamon sugar, and sweet and sour sugar. But I was like, no, I want them stuffed. Like that's what I want. And so that was part of the tour, and my wife took like a few small bites, and of course the rest was for me because she can't eat that much. So we had a good old time with that. And that was before we stopped at the plantation, or the Dole Plantation. Have you ever heard of that place?
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah.
So
where the pineapples are.
Yeah, exactly. So of course you can't go and not get like a Dole Whip, you know.
Of course.
Yeah, so
I've heard it tastes better there than it does everywhere else, although I'm also pretty partial to it in Magic Kingdom. So
it's magic. It's just magical. And we shared one because, of course, I was trying to pace myself and, you know, stay hungry for the rest of the time.
Right.
And we had some with like some fresh pineapple on top of it, and man, that was so good. The only thing though is I forgot that they put like the little wooden spoons, so you do get like that little wood flavor. Does that make sense?
Yeah, it's like the Blue Bunny ice cream cups you get in
Yeah.
like elementary school, like at the pizza
Yeah.
party, or when you go to the ice cream truck when you're a kid and you get like it's like the little wooden paddle.
Mm-hmm.
It's like you're eating. I don't really know who thought of it, but somebody at one point was like, what would make this ice cream better is if I ate it off of a tongue depressor.
Yeah.
And somebody was like, "That's it. By God, man, we have to market that." And then here we are.
I know. 2025. All these
2025.
off of wood.
What a time to be alive. All right, so you had a Dole Whip.
So we got to check out like the plantation where they had like all their pineapples, but they also had like cocoa tree or cacao trees and stuff like that. And I've never seen one in real life. So
they're kind of ugly. It's a huge, like, shrivelly pod. Yep.
Yeah. It's like the size of my hand, if not a little bit bigger.
Yep.
And it's insane. It's so cool.
I, of course, know this. I've never been there, but I, of course, know this because of the Hershey Chocolate Factory tour and ride that you can take in Hershey, PA. It takes a lot to make a chocolate bar, to make chocolate from this. It's a lot of science and a lot of process there, but boy, am I thankful for it. Just the dark chocolate chips I had in my bowl of Special K today, like, very thankful.
I know. I'm glad they decided to mass produce that because I love chocolate.
Dude, yes. So you take the tour around the plantation. So the donuts, were you considering those like kind of a brunch? A little snack?
I just consider them like snacks, yeah.
You snacked? Okay. When was the next meal?
So I guess you could say that was like our brunch,
Sure.
But then we stopped at this place called Tanaka Shrimp. I think that the tour guide knows the owners or something like that because, she goes back there and she's like ringing us up and she's pre-ordering all our stuff and you pass the lines. You know what I'm saying?
Sure.
So it was cool. And my wife had it was rice and chicken skewers. And of course, it was deep fried and whatnot. So the crunch on that was really good. And then you have like all the Hawaiian sauces and pineapple with everything. That was pretty good. And I didn't want it. They had like tons of like shrimp options, but the problem was that it was not peeled shrimp. And of course, if you're going to cook shrimp, I hate having to peel shrimp with my dirty hands and then eat food. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah. Yeah. Don't I get that?
Yeah. So I got their vegetarian option, which
tastes
was
better.
noodles.
Oh, wait. Steve, you cut out. Just go back just a second. It's okay.
So I decided to go with their vegetarian option because
nice.
I didn't want to do like peeling.
You didn't want to peel the shrimp. Yep.
Yeah. So it was like noodles with like cabbage and looks like carrots and peppers, and of course you had like the pineapple slice with it. But those were pretty good too. It
sounds amazing.
It reminded me of when I was in hotels and we would have our little Asian lady make us noodles. Like it was just, it took me back. Does that make sense?
Yeah. Yeah. I was just asking, and then there was like a little bit of an internet glitch. Did you find that the pineapple there was the best you tasted like in your whole life? Like,
oh yeah.
Yeah. Yeah.
I like pineapple, but
I unfortunately can't remember the last time I had a good pineapple here. They travel, they sit, they are picked too early or, too late or what have you. Right. But like, I cannot wait to try one in Hawaii someday.
Oh, you need to. It was awesome. And then, so, we stopped for about an hour or so to have lunch, and they have like their little fruit stands and things like that. But again, I'm still like in that mode of we have to pace ourselves,
Yeah.
Especially because later that night we ended up having dinner with some friends, but I'll get to that here in a little bit. So we stopped at the Polynesian Center, and they have all sorts of like areas for like Hawaiian people, Samoans, what is it? I want to say Filipino. Like, so you're learning about all these different cultures.
Mm-hmm.
And the one that I immediately was drawn to was the Samoan one because there was all these activities that revolved around cooking. So of course I was like, we got to do this.
You're like, that's me. Let's go.
Yeah, exactly. And then it was like learning to use like the Samoan knives and cooking. And I told my wife, like, this is where we have to go. Unfortunately, like the whole haka thing, that would have been really cool though. I would have loved that. So we go up and there's like a demonstration where this guy's like in full Samoan, gear and whatnot, and he's just talking about like the Samoan culture and cracking jokes. He's actually pretty funny. And so they wrapped that up and we went to like another tent area and they started talking about making it was like they call it breadfruit, but they cooked it down with like onions and water.
Yeah.
I'd never really heard of breadfruit,
Yeah.
But it's almost like a jackfruit, you know what I'm saying?
Yeah, exactly. I was just about to say it's just like a jackfruit, and it has kind of a meaty texture. Yeah.
And so they cooked it down, a little bit of coconut, things like that, and it was cool because they were saying, with something like that, you have to cook it just right because if you don't, when you throw the coconut milk in there, it separates and it's greasy. You know what I'm saying? Versus like creamy.
Yeah.
So we went back and tried it, and it was really, really good. The sweetness of the coconut with that onion flavor, the seasoning, the spices, and all that they used, like it was just out of this world. And I was kind of embarrassed because we're going up to try it, and my friend called me, and he's seeing what's going on, and I didn't want to like ignore his phone call, so I have the phone to my head, and I'm trying everything, and it was really good. So of course you tell him it's very delicious, but I don't like being on the phone in front of people and people hearing my conversations. I'm weird like that.
I also like hate being on the phone when I'm eating.
True.
Like if somebody calls me and I'm making dinner and then they're like, "Oh, is it time for you to eat dinner?" And I'm like, "Yeah, can you hang up now?" Because like hearing people chew on the phone is like a huge pet peeve.
So. Yeah. But it was fine. Like I said, we were just kind of trying to figure out like what's the game plan. So right there in the Polynesian Center, they have this right outside of it. It's called Hapas Sushi and Poke.
Nice.
And so I just went with like their traditional original poke, which was the ahi tuna, the sweet onion, green onion. They had sea asparagus, inamona, which I'm not exactly sure what that was, but they had ogo, poke sauce, and bubu arare.
Okay.
Again, not 100% sure all that was, other than it translates to delicious.
It's from the original, for delicious, from the original French.
Exactly.
Sure.
But, like when you put it all together, it was just good. And the tuna is so fresh there that, again, everywhere you go, it just kind of melts in your mouth versus, like when we get ahi here in the States. I'm sorry, in the States, or what do they say? You're on the island and then you're
the mainland. The mainland.
Yes. Yeah, all that tuna just really melted in your mouth. And, you take a small bite and you just barely, bite that tuna with your teeth. And it just, like I said, it all falls apart. It's good.
I love it.
And so like with that, it's almost like a ponzu where you get like a lot of that citrus kind of flavor out of it, that soy, and everything is just over white rice. And so, the white rice takes on whatever flavors you put with that. Kind of like
absolutely.
Tofu,
yeah, absolutely.
But I thoroughly enjoyed it. And like that sea asparagus, I've never had anything like that before, but I guess if you're going to get me to eat asparagus, that's how we're going to do it,
Nice.
So, yeah. But it's almost like the same way that you do the way that you would do poke here, but I guess just a little bit more authentic.
Yeah. I just thought, like you find poke bowls here, or they make poke burritos, and it's like hot Cheeto dust and roasted corn and and cotija. Like it's just completely different. It's completely different. Like
I would say.
Yeah, pretty much.
I mean,
I've used the word a lot lately, and I was trying not to. Wait, what'd you say?
I mean, it's still good. Don't get me wrong, but it's just not the same,
What's delicious? It's just not. It's not authentic. I mean, it's not traditional.
Yeah, exactly.
So, yeah.
I've noticed that a lot of places, like sushi places here, they like to add like the hot Cheeto dust and all that. And
it's for the tourists. I mean, I love hot Cheeto dust. Don't get me wrong. Oh my God, I would put on everything.
But I've started to really get away from like. There was a point where they started throwing like it was hot Cheeto dust, mangoes, and chamoy sauce. on the sushi. I'm like, nah, I had it once and I will never again. No, you don't do that, you know? At least in my opinion. So
I like chamoy and mangoes in like chamoyada, not sushi. It's just
exactly
weird. I don't know.
Yeah,
It's
exactly. And so that night I caught up with a friend of mine, or we caught up with an old friend of mine that I went to high school with, and I hadn't seen him in almost 15 years. So he joined the Navy, and get this, his backyard is Pearl Harbor, like that's where he's stationed, you know. So he's like about a block away from like seeing the USS Arizona. It was insane, and you know, seeing it from a different side, like as a tourist, and then seeing it from his point of view, like it's really cool, you know, because it's everyday thing. And like normal people like us, you don't like, you just go as a tourist, you get to see like certain bits and pieces of it, you know?
Yeah. I mean, it's wholly different when you live right next to something. Like I wasn't right next to downtown Dallas, but I, you know, lived in Dallas proper, and the school book depository was 15 minutes from my house, you know, like the site of the JFK assassination. And it's kind of different when it's part of your everyday architecture, right? Like it's like you can see something from your commute that has like this intense historical impact. And I kind of imagine it's that way for all the places in Europe and Germany, right?
Yeah.
Like, oh, this is, you know, we live right here, and that's, you know, literally like think about the people who live near the beach in Normandy, and it's like, oh yeah, all the history, all the significant history like happened here, right?
Yeah.
You know, so it's got to be wild and a really different perspective when you live right next to it, you know?
Oh yeah, most definitely. So we met up with him for dinner at this place called the Sushi Spot, and it was probably like 25 minutes from our hotel. And you know, it was really great to see an old friend that I've known for so long.
Of course.
And you know, I got to meet his wife, his kids and stuff like that, and they got to meet my wife. And we just ordered a ton of sushi. And of course, it's like the rainbow roll, like the soft shell crab rolls, gyozas, all sorts of stuff. You know, like I can't name everything because, again, I didn't write down what I ordered, but like it was traditional, like. And I've talked about it before in other episodes, like where I just say when my wife and I order sushi, we just order like 5-6 different rolls and we just enjoy it. And that's exactly what we did. So what's funny is even though like you're meeting new people, it was, we're going to have family style. There was no, do you mind if I try this or anything like that? It was like, we've known each other for years. And, you know, there was a couple rolls that really stuck out. Like there was one with scallops on top.
Yeah.
I mean, I love scallops to begin with. And it had like their QP mayo and like the little fish roe, things like that.
Right.
You just take a bite out of it and you just feel all those pops in your mouth. Oh, so good.
I love like masago. I love all the roe, the caviar that they use essentially. Yeah. Like I love all of the fish eggs that they use in sushi preparation. A lot of times I know that it's a turnoff to people who are trying sushi for the first time, but it's such an amazing texture. And it's not at all like what it is so much cleaner and has a sweeter flavor than like traditional caviar does. Yeah. Like flying fish eggs are extremely sweet. They don't taste fishy at all. The texture is super fun if you can kind of get behind it and get your mind like in that place to where you're like excited for it, not kind of repulsed. Yeah, it's awesome. I love it.
I think we ended up ordering like a total of like 10 rolls or something like that.
Nice.
And so, yeah. And then of course, no, you know, I always have to have one with eel on top and eel sauce and all that stuff. And it was cool because like everything just came out like little at a time. And so it was all there. And then like you're having to move cups and plates and stuff around just to make space. And you think to yourself, man, how much stuff did I order, you know? So, and the best part about it was that even though it was like 10 rolls, I think we spent like, between all of us, it was like maybe $110.
That's really not bad.
No, not at all. Considering everything in Hawaii is as expensive as it is, you know?
Yeah, well, not only that, but like, just think about this, you know, I ate some sushi while traveling once in Indianapolis, of all places. Think about how much fresher, less export, you know, like, just think about how much fresher and how much more vibrant everything tastes right there by the ocean. You know what I mean? Like, you can't help but be by the ocean. You're surrounded by it. It's an island, right? It is a set of islands, rather, but amazing.
So the following day, we went on a food tour, right? And we woke up. Now remember, it's a 5-hour difference from where we're at. So like 8 o'clock for us is 3 o'clock over there in the morning. And so we're waking up at like 3, 4 in the morning and just lying there. And of course, you're getting hungrier and hungrier and hungrier. So you go down to like the VIP area for like breakfast and you have a little bit, but then you have to remind yourself, do not eat too much because you're going on a food tour. And so we did that, had our coffee, and then I can't explain it, but coffee's been filling me up lately, and it's just black coffee. You know what I'm saying? Is that weird?
Well, I mean, I think it's you're probably finding that the caffeine is being more of an appetite stimulant now than maybe it used to be. And I don't know. It maybe has to do with age, hormones. I have no idea. I'm not a doctor. Just want to put that out there.
You play one on TV.
I play one on a podcast. Actually, even not that. Not at all.
I finally had my very first legit Mai Tai before we went on this food tour. And it's like rum and I don't even remember what else. Like coconut, right? Or something like that. I just know it's rum. And so I learned something.
I couldn't tell you, Steve, because I don't drink girly fruity drinks.
Yeah, as it may. It was good. So I learned
it was delicious. What'd you learn?
So you know the whipped cream canisters that you use to make like whipped cream, like fun stuff. They used egg whites with that for their top. You know, so rather than shaking it all up and letting that foam on top, no, like they just sprayed it right on top, and it was cool.
That's smart.
Try that one day.
Yeah, that's amazing. I love it.
But we went to. I'm gonna have to get my notes out on this one because this one I actually did take notes, and so it was really cool because the first place we stopped was the Royal Kitchen. We had Manapua, which is kind of like it's typically like I want to say like a steam bun. It's stuffed with like pork and onions and like that. This particular place, they baked them, so you got that little crust on the outside, that beautiful color, and then on the inside it was like their barbecue pork and onions and things like that. And so just that bun alone, the tour guide said you cannot eat everything. You have to pace yourself because you're going to eat a lot of food. So I was scared out of my mind. Like, I'm going to eat it.
Oh no.
Slowly, you know,
I'm going to be miserable. Never.
No, I ate everything. And so the next one we went to was Ahe's Cafe, AJE. And so we had like some pork adobo, which was completely different from like what we do, what I think of adobo here.
Yeah, sure.
In Texas, they're Hispanic cuisine, you know? And so it was a little bit on the saltier side, but it was also like that pork. The way they cooked it down, it wasn't mushy. You know what I'm saying? Like it had a lot of umami to it. It was just, that flavor was just so good. And then they sent out banana lumpia. So you think to yourself,
yes.
Yeah, exactly. You think to yourself, like, I need to be careful with this because, you know, I'm pacing myself. No, that the crust, there was like a caramel crust around that lumpia. Oh my gosh. It was so good.
So for anybody who doesn't know, lumpia is a traditional Filipino fried spring roll, and they're kind of skinny. So when you think egg rolls, like the short and fat version, the spring roll, the lumpia, you typically is like shrimp and veg or pork. Banana and caramel sounds incredible. I wouldn't even have thought to put the two things together. What was the difference between the adobos, though? I want to go back. Like, tell me about a traditional pork adobo in like Mexican cuisine.
So like whenever I have adobo, like there's a lot of like annatto, chipotle, stuff like that. To me, you know, I like that smokier kind of texture to it, or flavor, I'm sorry. And so with that, this one, it kind of had like more Asian flair to it. Like, and it was not like soy sauce or teriyaki, things like that, but like it was like I said, the way that I describe it is you get a lot more of that pork flavor, a little bit of salt to really bring out that pork. And it was like very umami. It's hard to explain, like I probably should have asked.
No, I get it.
But like everything was served like these little bowls,
Mm-hmm.
like, but yeah, that one I couldn't quite get over. I just thought, man, this is so good. And I got to try, took notes. I finally got to try balut. Have you ever had balut?
One time.
So you know how
I spit it back into my hand. Tell everybody what balut is.
It's a delicious chicken egg that's got like that baby chicken forming inside. Oh my gosh, it was amazing. So we had, I guess, the balut light, if you will, because we were told the way that you do it, crack the shell open on top, and you got to drink some of that broth that comes out, and it's very chicken brothy.
Yeah, sure. So if everybody hasn't caught on, it's an all the way fertilized chicken egg where the tiny chicken has formed on the inside. Ugh. All right.
But yeah, so we break it open, and I drank that little broth out, and I shared a little bit with my wife because, again, we shared one because we had no clue what to expect. And then, you get that like egg yolky, that baby chicken that's forming inside.
Yeah.
To the eye, it looks atrocious because you see like the yolk part of the chicken, and it's just ugly brown colors.
Yep.
And so you have no clue what to expect. And so they gave us a spoon, so you're trying a little bit. And to my surprise, it was actually pretty good. I didn't get any crunchiness out of it, anything like that. Apparently, like when you get it overseas, like you get the actual balut where it's like crunchy in texture because it's a little bit more formed. I don't know. I tasted a lot of that yolk flavor, and on the very bottom of the egg, like there was this real rubbery, chewy texture, which the tour guide said, if I were you, I'd spit that out. Like it's not good. But everything else was really, really good.
Good for that guy for being like honest.
Oh, by the way, so this guy's from Hawaii, and he asks us, where are you from? So I said, Texas. He said, what do you do? I said, I work for a grocery retailer. And he said, oh, H-E-B. I love H-E-B. And get this. He goes,
crazy.
What part of Texas are you from? I said, West Texas, but I'm originally from South Texas. He goes, oh, like McAllen? And my face just dropped. Like, how do you know McAllen?
I think, like, looking for a hidden camera, like, okay, you guys set this up.
Right? My brother-in-law's from McAllen. So
that's amazing.
That is awesome.
Dude, that's crazy.
So he takes us. So back on track, he takes us to like get fresh produce, and like we tried sour sop, we tried pickled mango, we tried chico, which I guess it's like a fruit, but it tasted almost like sour grapes if I'm remembering correctly. And then we had papaya, which I like papaya. I don't know why I don't eat more of it, but it's good. And then we had
I really like it too.
Have you ever had durian?
Yeah, durian. Yep.
The one that just has like the most atrocious smell in the world.
Yeah, it smells like dead bodies.
No,
but on it,
it smells like gasoline.
Honestly, I mean, it just has a really, really strong odor. But honestly, I think it tastes like vanilla. Like I think it tastes like very.
It was very creamy.
Yeah, it's very like it. I don't know. It's just very pleasant on the inside.
Yeah, and then we got to try like some longan, which is like the same family as like lychee. So that was pretty cool.
Nice.
And so like I'd never had pickled mango before, but that was good. And let me see. I bought some. It's called lihing powder, which is like the dried out like sour plums where it's just all ground up.
Nice.
Like that we throw tahini on everything.
Did you bring it home with you?
I bought a bottle. That's correct.
Nice. What are you going to use that for?
I have no clue yet, but I was excited about that.
Nice.
And then, of course, we went to the fish market, so we had some big eye tuna, some spicy tuna. The big eye tuna by itself was just like slices. Again, melts in your mouth. They gave us a little bit of like soy sauce, which was I didn't even use the soy sauce because I just want to try the tuna for what it was.
Yeah.
And then the spicy tuna had like a little bit of like the fish roe, a little bit of spicy mayo on it. And some onion. Holy cow, that was good.
I love tuna so much.
And then we tried kimchi octopus. Holy cow. Like I can't explain how good that was. Like it had like green onions on it, and like the kimchi flavor, then again some fish roe on it.
Mm-hmm.
And it was a little bit chewy, but that flavor was so good. Like I like the way that I prepare my octopus versus the way they do theirs, two totally different things, you know. And yeah, I couldn't get enough of it. So then we went, we went to Cam's Meat Market, and we had Peking duck and crispy char siu pork belly.
Yeah.
That was really good. That Peking duck, oh man, cooked to perfection. Like
Peking duck is so incredible. So good.
Yeah. And they cut up an entire duck just for us, you know. And that char siu pork, oh, so good. Like I couldn't get enough of it.
Char siu is so good.
Everyone was filling up at this point. So then the tour guy said, "Who wants to take some with them?" Of course, I was like, "Me, right here." And yeah. So then I guess that was like the dinner part, course 5, if you will, you know. And well, probably like course 6 or 7 at that point.
Right.
We went to this little place called Gon and Thai, and we had a pandan cake. And if you're not familiar with that, it's like a sponge cake, but it's green inside.
Okay, what is it?
You know, let me see. We're gonna have to figure this out. Pandan cake. It's pound cake. That's a good question. Like I don't even know what was in there. Oh, it's flour, eggs, butter, and sugar. Let's see.
So the pandan plant gives it its green color and nutty flavor. I wonder, did it taste like matcha? Is that the deal? Not really? Interesting.
I mean, it was very pound cakey, you know, but like the reason why I couldn't find it because I spelled it wrong. But
so they use it in Malaysia, Indonesia, and Singapore.
Yeah.
It says it tastes kind of like grassy, earthy vanilla with a hint of coconut, which to me, anytime you
vanilla out of it.
Yeah, I mean, anytime you say grassy and earthy, that's what I think of matcha. And I have to laugh. Like the other day, somebody recommended a matcha drink to me, and I was like, oh, so dirty water? Because then I haven't jumped on the trend. I don't know. I'm not with it, but
well, it was very spongy. Like
I love that.
Right back. It was cool. Like it was very delicious. And then we finally stopped at this place called Maguro Brothers for some actual Hawaiian limu poke.
Nice.
So we had their version of poke, and I mean that was just you're already full enough as it is, but then like you get their poke, and man, it was so good. I couldn't get enough, so my wife had her portion, I had mine. I chowed down on mine, and I ate most of hers too because it was so good. And you know, you got like the green onions, and all their ponzu flavorings, a little bit of seaweed with that. Yeah, and it was just the tuna by itself, so there was no rice to like further fill you up.
Yeah, just like really simple, and like we always say, like sometimes the most simple preparations are the best. Like,
yeah, I really love the fact that they use like green onions and things like that to really complement that tuna. And it just makes for a much better, you know, end result.
Yeah. So what was your absolute favorite thing you ate while you were there? What's the highlight?
I would say that kimchi octopus. That was really good. Again, a little bit chewier than what I'm used to, but man, I dug it. I dig it. I enjoy it. Considering I don't really enjoy kimchi too much.
Yeah. I absolutely love kimchi, but one of the things I like doing with it is mincing it extremely small and using it to flavor mayo.
Yeah, I can see that.
Yeah, I like that a lot. Like on a slice, like a pork loin sandwich or something like that, or even like a fried fish sandwich, just with kimchi mayo. I love those flavors a lot. I love that fermented, like spicy flavor. Steve, it sounds like you had an amazing time. Are you any plans to go back in the future?
God, I hope so. That would be awesome.
I love it.
Yeah, let's see. So later that night we ended up going to some speakeasy. I don't even remember what it was called. Let me see. I'll have to look at my search. Let's see. Wild Orange at HB Social Club, which it was really hard to find. It was in a pool hall, and you still have to like go exploring some
because more. Secret speakeasy.
So we had all sorts. We had a few cocktails. I had like their take on an old fashioned, their take on a Mai Tai. And I really paced myself. Typically, when I have cocktails, I'm like, let's get them down quick because they taste so good. They're easy to go down, but I took my time, and we left. And so we were walking back. And we stopped at this. Let me see. What was it called? It was called. I don't even think I got a picture of it, but it was like some sort of like dino food truck where it was like burgers, smash burgers and fries and stuff like that.
Nice.
And you would think like you're in Hawaii, bro, and you're having burgers. Yeah, it was really, really good.
Sometimes you can find like the most unlikely, the best still things that you have at home, but like you can find them made really, really well in the most unlikely places.
And what was really cool was they had like these, their fries were homemade, and they had this really garlicky mayo. So like we were still tasting garlic the following day after we brushed it. So yeah,
I love it.
That was cool as can be.
Nice.
Let's see, and then we hiked Diamond Head State Monument Park. That was cool.
Cool.
Oh man, we had oysters the following day, and we got like this caviar like trio where it was like caviar like on a little pancake with some creme fraiche, some parsley, caviar, and some oysters, and then we had caviar. I don't even remember what it was like. Salmon. It was like caviar with a little cone with like salmon that was just like ground up. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Cow. Like that was so good. And then I had another.
It's like a tartare mixture, but they put it like in a little ice cream cone. When I say ice cream cone, for everybody out there who's listening, this is a completely savory application. It's just a tiny little cone. Like sometimes you'll use them for past hors d'oeuvres. So you see like a little plastic stand. So yeah, that's awesome, dude. What are you inspired to explore some of these flavors in your own kitchen? Like, are you cooking anything this week that's like an homage to this, or are you just kind of like back to the usual?
Much as I should be. Well, tomorrow I'm taking off to Houston, so
nice.
There's no actual cooking. This is kind of like a 2-week on and off trip, if you will, from work.
Golly, that's a life.
Yeah, and we got to try. So I want to say the last day that we were there, we went to a Maui Brewing Company. Keep in mind, we're already kind of full, and I still had to try some of their beers and whatnot. And this is what I liked about it. So I got like their flight card, and I got what they had. It's called like a Shibita beer, a mango sticky rice beer, Poyo pale ale, and then a peach mango hard tea in honor of my dad because he likes to drink those hard teas. So
nice.
Yeah. So that Shibita was like a Japanese dry rice lager, almost like a sake.
Yeah.
It was light, and holy crap, it was really, really good. And I fell in love with that mango sticky rice beer. Oh, it tasted just like you got hits of like mango and
kind of that the starchiness or like that rice flavor.
Yeah,
I love
a lot of coconut out of it. Like, and you think beer and coconut don't go well together, but they do.
Yeah, I love it.
And let me see, what else do we have? So I took pictures of all that, and then we stopped at some musubi place. You've had musubi before, right?
Yeah, I've had spam musubi. For anybody who doesn't know, specifically spam is a ball of rice like you would see underneath like a nigiri piece of sushi, or sometimes they'll put it in a square. Sometimes it'll be in a triangle. It just depends on which place you're at and who's making it. But it usually has the nori seaweed, and the rice is seasoned just like sushi rice, and it has a big piece of seared spam on top. And I am a huge fan of it. I like mine with a little kipi mayo. It might be sacrilege, but that's how I like it. Sometimes they serve it with ponzu or teriyaki as well.
Yeah. So I had one with eel and then your traditional Spam one, and it was really good. It was not what I was expecting.
My only thing with Spam, and I've just noticed as I've gotten older, like I don't have any issues with salt. I like salt. I like my food to have flavor. I like it to be seasoned. You know, salt is not a flavoring in and of itself, but it's a flavor enhancer. It makes things taste more like themselves. You know, it makes chicken more chickeny. It makes fruit more fruity. You know, like it really brings things out, right? But one of the things about Spam is I've noticed the older I get, like it's so salty, it makes my stomach hurt. Really? So if I'm preparing it at home, I'll soak it in water or milk for like 24 hours and drain it and like continuously rinse it. And I'll buy the low sodium kind because it's just that amount of salt coupled with the fat. And like, God bless if I'd had to live through the depression or the war rationing where Spam was like, and all the, I would have like a really hurt tummy all the time. So, I'm a delicate flower, Stephen.
Or an iron stomach, one of the two.
Yeah. I don't know. Yeah.
So the last meal that we had there, we went to this place called Eating House, and it was right there next to Strip Steak because I didn't want to eat there twice. As much as I wanted to, I didn't want to be that guy. Like, you know, I wanted to try something different every single time. So we had like spring rolls, and we had like some char siu bao buns and sampler of like seafood of oysters, shrimp, salmon, tuna, things like that. It seemed a little bit more like chain restaurant-y, but again, it was a chance to see my buddy one more time before I came back.
Yeah.
And so we just like snacked and had a good old time and reminisced, and you know, everything that we did was just a ton of fun. You know, I would definitely go back, but you know, make sure that you're ready to spend some more money.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, it's one of the realities of traveling, right? But I think the last thing that you said about, hey, maybe this wasn't the best restaurant, but it was a chance to see our friend. And I think that's kind of the point, right? It's like it doesn't have to be haute cuisine every single time. Everything doesn't have to have a Michelin star. But the really important thing is that the food will bring people together, and it kind of narrates the relationships and the connections, and the food probably tasted that much better even for what it was because of the people that you were spending your time with, you know?
Yeah. It was a real honor because again, you're seeing a friend that you hadn't seen in a long time. And you know, you understand, you know, this individual has a life, he's got a family, he's in the military, and so he has stuff to do. But the fact that he took time, you know,
twice
out of his day, twice to see us, like it meant the world to me. Like I was elated to see this guy because again, I hadn't seen him in almost 15 years.
Oh, that's so special. How meaningful.
And
I love that.
You know, after we had dinner, that's when my wife said, I'm tired, I'm ready to go back to the hotel. So, you know, him and I, we just hung out a little bit longer, and we went to Yard House of all places for like dessert. You know, but it was cool because like I want dessert. I want to take dessert home to my wife and kids, and so I was like, yeah. So we just, like I said, we just hung out. We had a great time, and everything that we did, like in Hawaii, it was so much fun. And even though we did a lot of tours, a lot of it was food based, and I was excited to be a part of that. And you know, when we go to Houston tomorrow, we're only going for a couple of days. We're going for like an art show, and we also have like I have plans to take my wife to certain places, and pray that we don't eat too much, but it's going to happen.
What's too much on a vacation? We're just traveling to eat, right? I think I stand by the statement that I make all the time, probably overusing it on this podcast, that food's the best way to get to know a place, and food's the best way to get to know people. So, well, Steve,
hot like Houston. Oh man, I'm going to learn a lot.
100%. Well, I think every city has something to offer, even if they think they don't.
Yeah.
So somewhere in the vast sea of, and there's nothing wrong with it, right? Somewhere in the vast sea of all the Yard Houses and the Chili's and the Waffle Houses and the Applebee's and the, you know, the fast food restaurants, like there are diamonds in the rough. You just have to go find them. So go find them. Steve, I hope you have a wonderful week and have a great trip.
Oh, it'll be fun.
I'll talk to you soon. Bonus
about how good everything was.
Yeah, bonus points if you wear the Hawaii outfit in Houston. Send us a selfie.
I don't as much as this shirt has shrunk.
Do it. Just embrace it.
The bottom of this shirt is at my belly button, so I'm good. I'll pass, but thanks.
Oh, Steven and Midriff. I'm here. I'm here for it. All right. Have a great time and talk to you soon.
Bye.
Bye.